I want to welcome everybody to this demonstration. New evidence proves Ashley Elkins' ex-boyfriend is guilty of her disappearance. Before we get started with this demonstration, salute to the chat, salute to my moderators, salute to everybody on the replay game. Salute Sages, salute Cotan, salute Precious, salute Top Flight. So this story is out of Michigan. Now, she was reported missing in Warren, Michigan, but let's go to some brief details on this case. So Ashley Elkins, a 30-year-old mother of two from Warren, has been missing since January the 2nd. And even though presumed to be dead, her family is desperate for answers. They believe her ex-boyfriend, 32-year-old DeAndre Booker, knows what happened. And that's what this demonstration is all about. The evidence that was found linking the ex-boyfriend, DeAndre Brooks, to the disappearance. Now, unfortunately, Ashley Elkins' body hasn't been recovered, or if she's still alive, which we all are praying that she's alive, no one has been able to locate her. Salute Angie, salute Positive Vibes, salute Marie. So it goes on to say prosecutors and police said to an overflowing Roseville courtroom on Thursday that while DeAndre Booker, the ex-boyfriend of missing Ashley Elkins, was in Flint, he accessed the internet and searched for things like fastest routes to Ohio, what to do on the run, is blood traceable, how to beat a polygraph, and deleting Google history. Now he's being held on a $250,000 cash bond for lying to police. Now they found blood at his apartment. They found blood at his apartment. Salute Angie. Salute Angie.
Good afternoon. The defendant was seen leaving in the victim's car with an unknown female. A short time later, defendant returns with the unknown female, but the victim's car is gone. Over the next course of 15 hours, I see coming up with his apartment, and the victim is no longer seen. We search for residents and often find what will be alleged crime scene, with a substantial amount of blood in the bathroom. DNA confirms that the blood did in fact belong to the victim.
So the blood that they found belonged to Ashley Elkins. Since January 2nd, the defendant victim has not been seen or heard from, has not had contact with friends or family, no banking activity. This leads us to believe that the victim is in fact deceased, and the defendant is responsible for her death and disappearance. So as of January the 2nd, Ashley Elkins hasn't been seen. And so police authorities are saying that they believe that the suspect, the ex-boyfriend, DeAndre Booker, is responsible for her disappearance as well as her death. So they're presuming that she's no longer alive.
All right, based on your testimony and authorized warrant, Mr. Lang, are we ready to proceed to immediate arraignment, or would you like an opportunity to speak with your client regarding
We can go right to the arraignment. I just received limited information on this matter. I've read it. We would stand mute to all charges at this time.
Judge, I'm sorry, Carmen Franco on behalf of the people. We don't have defendant on the screen yet, so.
We're gonna get to it, but we'll be repeatedly talk client. All right, well, hopefully, you have any case, I'm gonna go over.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, now appearances for the record.
Good morning, Your Honor. Carmen DeFranco appearing on behalf of the people.
Good morning, Your Honor. Robbie Lang appearing on behalf of DeAndre Booker.
And sir, please state your name for the record.
You say it's an echo? You say it's an echo? Drop a 1 if y'all hear echo. Drop a 1 if y'all hear echo. Drop a 1 if y'all hear echo. Y'all hear echo?
DeAndre Booker.
All right, Mr. Mannigan, with regard to the agreement on the new information you've been provided.
What about now?
I have been provided the new information. We would waive the formal reading and stand mute.
All right. Mr. Booker, have you had an ample opportunity to talk to your attorney?
Not today, but yesterday, yes.
Has he gone over your rights with you?
Yes.
Do you understand all of those rights?
Yes.
Do you have any questions regarding those rights?
No.
Do you know what the charges are in the new information at this time?
I don't.
All right.
You might as well read them,
Read
Your
the
Honor.
charges, counsel, just so that he knows what he's charged with today, or I can do it whatever you prefer.
You could read them out loud.
That's fine. Sir, you are charged with count 1, homicide, murder, first degree, premeditated. The allegation is that you did deliberately with the intent to kill and with premeditation kill and murder 1 Ashley Lachey Elkins, contrary to MCL 750.316. That is a felony with a possible penalty of life without parole. Count 2, tampering with evidence. Criminal case punishable by up to more than 10 years. Did knowingly and intentionally remove, alter, conceal, destroy, or otherwise tamper with evidence to be offered in a criminal case where the crime was punishable by a maximum term of imprisonment of more than 10 years or imprisonment for life of any term of years. That is a felony punishable by up to 10 years and or $20,000. Count 3, dead bodies, disinterment and mutilation. Did mutilate, deface, remove, or carry away a portion of a dead body. That is a felony punished by up to 10 years or $5,000. And count 4, concealing the death of an individual. That you allegedly did discover the body of Ashley Lachey Elkins, a person he or she had reason to know was dead, and failed to inform a law enforcement agency, a funeral home, or a 911 operator of the discovery while having a purpose to conceal the fact or cause of death of that person. That is a felony punished by up to 5 years and or $5,000. Do you understand the charges against you today?
Yes.
At this time, I'm going to enter the not guilty plea for purposes of arraignment, and we'll move to bond. We'll start with you, counsel. Mr. Lang.
Your Honor, I realize the seriousness of this offense. However, according to MCR 6.106B, he does not fit the category where bond can be denied, even though it is a murder charge, because he has no prior violent felonies, and he, at the time, is not on bond or parole, probation for any violent felony. Therefore, under 6106C, the court must order the pretrial release of defendant on personal recognizance or on unsecured appearance bond unless the court thinks he would be a danger to the public and or a flight risk. And Your Honor, I would reiterate what I iterated before, that Mr. Booker would not be a flight risk. He has lived in either Detroit, Ann Arbor, or Macomb County his entire life. He has ties to the community here in terms of past jobs, family, etc. And if we look at the worry about him being gone, he could be placed on a steel cuff tether, so his whereabouts would be known at all times. He would, I believe, that the police already confiscated, if he had a passport in his residence, they would already have control of that. He does not have a driver's license, so that would be surrendered to ensure that he would not flee. With regard to reasons for a personal recognizance bond, the court in Subrule F looks at about 8 known factors. With regard to these, there's only one that's out, and that is the seriousness of the offense charge. As to all the other factors, Mr. Booker does not have any prior criminal record whatsoever. He does not have a record of non-appearance at court dates. He doesn't have a history of substance abuse or a mental condition. He has had steady employment most of his life, other than for the past 6 months when he was laid off from his job, and he's been working some part-time jobs therein. And, you know, again, his ties, family ties to this community. So I expect the court is going to enter some type of monetary bond, but I would ask that that be low. I mean, he does not have any assets of his own, and that you put some conditions on his release, like I mentioned, a GPS tether, no contact with the victim's family, etc.
All right, Mr. Frank.
Thank you, Your Honor. Judge, I believe the counsel is misreading 6.106. I believe this defendant can be remanded with no bond, at least for a period of about 90 days. And I would ask for that. If this court is inclined to grant some sort of monetary bond, I would ask for something in the neighborhood of $5 million cash, no 10%.
Now I'm gonna just stop it right there, y'all. Salute Yvette, C. Appreciate you for pulling up. Salute Yvette C. I'm gonna just stop it right there. Now, what's the difference? What's the difference from this defendant's bail review compared to the correctional officers that is responsible for taking Robert Brooks' life? Did y'all notice anything? This bail review, this bail hearing, and the last one, correct, positive. He's melanated, he's black. But did y'all hear the DA in that case? The prosecutor went along with the attorneys, in their case, the attorney's request for bond. However, in this case, the prosecutor is not going along. Appreciate that super sticker, Yvette C. Appreciate that super sticker. This prosecutor is not agreeing. This prosecutor is referring to no bail. And if a bail is granted, we recommend a bail in a high amount, right? Exactly. A $5 million bail compared to a $25,000 bail and a $1,000 bail. shaking my head. Y'all see the difference? Because it's a murder case. And not only is it a murder case, it's the severity of it. It's the circumstances around it. Now, you mean to tell me what we saw those correctional officers do to Robert Brooks? You mean to tell me that alone, their actions alone, shouldn't have required a no bail for those correctional officers? What did Kendrick Lamar say? What did Kendrick Lamar say? The game is rigged. They not like us. They don't get treated like we get treated.
Is there anything further from anyone?
No, Your Honor.
All right. Having viewed the information statute, I agree that the defendant does qualify for a remand under the statute. As provided as such, I am going to remand him with no bond into the care and custody of the Macomb County Jail at this time. We need to talk PCC dates.
Appreciate that. So he's been given a no bond, which he should have been given a no bond. It's a murder case. My opinion, all murder cases shouldn't be given a bail. If you are locked up, whether it's your first offense, don't make a difference what your occupation is, don't make a difference what it is. You should be held without bond. Because if you committed this murder, what's the chances of you committing another murder? And you taking somebody's life. But those correctional officers were given bond, and they all bonded out. One of them was let out on a PR bond. Now, this suspect, which he should be held without bond, is being held without bond. I just want to compare those two.
At this time, there is a third case with Judge Bodecker already. There is a PCC scheduled for February 5th, 2025 at 8:30 a.m. I was not at that matter. I do not know if the original court date, if the defendant waived his 21-day rules yet on that matter, and what kind of action.
If I may, Judge, yes, it was an adjourned PCC. The 21-day rule has been waived on that already. I would ask for this PCC to be set. This is obviously going to Judge Bodecker as well.
Yes, this matter will also go to Judge Bodecker. So we can keep the February 5th date of next Wednesday. We can also change that date if we are willing to waive timeline requirements today.
Your Honor, myself and Mr. DeFranco had spoke before we got on the record about, dates based upon our schedules and these dates coming up on the previous case of the 5th and the 26th. I would have waived the time frame, but now, we've kind of agreed that since we have this PCC scheduled for the 5th on the other case, we just as soon have this scheduled for that. And then we'll go from there in terms of where we're going to go for another PCC based upon the anticipation of the massive amount of discovery I'm assuming I'm going to receive.
And Judge, I agree with Mr. Lang on that. I will begin to coordinate with my office's discovery unit to make sure Mr. Lang gets at least starts to get the discovery as soon as possible. And I agree. I think leaving this the 5th, then we, Mr. Lang, myself, and Judge Bodecker can all look at everyone's schedules together on that date and figure out where to go forward.
Okay, then I'm gonna put this matter also on to February 5th, 2025 at 8:30 a.m. on Zoom for a PCC and exam date of February 12th, 2025 at 8:30 a.m. in person. That will be the control date. You guys can discuss that with Judge Bodecker at the next court hearing. Sir, I am going to officially refer your matter to the public defender for appointment of counsel so that Mr. Lang can be appointed to coordinate both matters.
Yes, Your Honor, just to speak to that, I was specifically appointed on the other case, knowing that this matter might come up, and therefore, yes, you'd have to run it through our office, and I'm going to be on this case also.
So we will make sure that is done as well. And you guys will all be in front of Judge Bodecker next Wednesday, February 5th, 2025 at 8:30 a.m. I have set the matter remotely on Zoom.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Pleasure seeing you again.
Nice to meet you.
Recording stopped.
No, I just wanted to call you.
So he's been detained with no bond. Now, this case is another one of those tragedies. It's a tragic case. You know, it's a woman whom had an ex-boyfriend that just couldn't let go. Couldn't get over the fact that this woman didn't want him no more. I mean, she got it going on. She moved on with another boyfriend. Not sure how long the new boyfriend and Ashley was together. But she was seeing somebody else. Because the new boyfriend, he even went as far to talk about the conversation that he had with her the last time he talked to her. And by the way, her mother had a dream. Let me see if I could pull up her mother, but her mother had a dream of something horrible happening to her. Salute, Petty Queen. The boyfriend said that he waited, the ex-boyfriend waited until he left the Ashley Elkins was a hairstylist and the mother of two. But the officials in this case have confirmed that the blood that was found in DeAndre's, that's the ex-boyfriend, apartment bathroom, belongs to Ashley Elkins. So we know that something horrible happened to her. Let me see if I could get the family to speak. But case after case, salute Leslie, case after case keeps coming out to be the same.
recited those to the court during the course of the.
I'm Vinnie Politan. The subject of my investigation is missing Michigan mom, Ashley Elkins. She was a young mom doing an amazing job raising two boys. But all that stopped when she went missing in a case that is absolutely devastating an entire family. Here's the story. Ashley Elkins is a young mother of two boys. She lives in Warren, Michigan. On January 2nd, 2025, she left her home at around 8:30 a.m. to run some errands and pick up some beauty supplies. Ashley is a beautician who sees customers in her home. After she left home that day, she was never seen or heard from again. Her phone pinged in the area near her boyfriend's apartment. His name is DeAndre Booker. Ashley's car was recovered a few miles away from there. Investigators obtained a search warrant and went inside Booker's home. They indicated there was substantial evidence collected inside, and they also indicated that based upon that evidence, they believe Ashley was murdered. Booker was booked, but not for murder, instead for lying to police. Meanwhile, the search for Ashley continues. This is a tough one. Such a young mom and doing such a great job. Think about it, when you're young, you've got two boys and you're taking care of them. You're working hard. You're doing everything right, everything you're supposed to be doing. And then something like this happens. I want to put this up. This is from WXYZ, our great affiliate out there in Michigan. And this is from January 8th, 2025. DeAndre Booker charged with lying to peace officer. The ex-boyfriend of a Warren woman who went missing last week has been arrested in connection to her case. Police said, investigators said he is the primary suspect. And that's important. Sometimes they won't say that there's a suspect or a person of interest. They're just gathering evidence. But here, very clear that he is the primary suspect, which brings us to the first question in our investigation.
If you've been waiting to apply for
Y'all let me know. Y'all let me know. Now, is he or has he been charged with the unaliving? I'm going to have to backtrack. But in that court, in his bail hearing, did they mention anything about whether or not he was charged with the actual murder? Because if he isn't even charged with murder and they denied him bond, that's really like a slap in the face. But is he actually charged with the murder? I don't think he is at this time. I don't think that he is at this time charged with the murder.
disability benefits, don't. Hi, I'm Sarah, and I'm a lawyer at Atticus. Applying as soon as you're unable.
Why? Why is DeAndre Booker the primary suspect in all this? What do police know? What is the evidence that is there right now? And why are they connecting him to this disappearance, which appears to be really a homicide investigation at this point? Joining me, Ashley Elkins' uncle, Maurice Morton, and retired police officer for 2 decades, an expert in analyzing crime scenes, now trains investigators. Mike McCutcheon is with us as well. Maurice, let me begin. First of all, on behalf of everyone here at Court TV, our thoughts, our prayers are with your family. Tell me tonight, how is the family doing, number one? And number two, what are the family's thoughts about DeAndre Booker?
Well, thank you for having me on your show, and thank you for the question. It's very tough for the family right now. The police are doing an active search for her remains right now at a landfill. So the last 2 days, we've been on pins and needles, waiting from word from the police on whether or not they've located her remains. As it relates to DeAndre Booker, the family here, he's a monster. And, everything, all the evidence points to this being a premeditated crime, something that he planned. The family is convinced that he was outside her home when she left out that day, that he abducted her, took her to his home, where he subsequently murdered her. So, nothing but ill feelings towards him. Can't believe he did what he did. He was very close to the family, and it's just no words for what he did. Just an absolute monster.
Mike, I want to play Stephen Fox's, what he said in court for the the first appearance of Booker. Take a listen to what the assistant prosecuting attorney had to say.
Obviously, we're here on a 4-year felony for lying to a peace officer on a violent crime investigation. This is, of course, as your Honor is aware, involving Ms. Elkins. And the court is to consider MCR 6.106F and MCL 765.6, a number of factors. I'm going to hit on a few if you don't mind. The first is the protection of the public. The underlying matter, although not the charge specifically, but the underlying matter obviously involves a crime of violence, potentially. We are still seeking Ms. Elkins. The defendant, we suspect and believe, may know where she is. And a concern is her safety if, God forbid, the worst has not happened yet. So with respect to that, Judge, I believe that there is a risk to the public, specifically if she were still alive, and that's what we're all hoping for, of course. The other is the defendant's risk of non-appearance and the likelihood of conviction. Likelihood of conviction, Judge, the defendant made several material factual misstatements to detective aspirants and recited those to the court during the course of the initial swear to. The defendant was aware that we were investigating a missing persons report. He was aware that there was some belief of his involvement. He made misstatements about both his location as well as Ms. Elkins and how she may have left his vehicle, left his apartment complex, all of which we can demonstrate by objective evidence and video evidence to be false. So there's a high likelihood of conviction in these cases, on these matters. And then last and most importantly for the court's consideration, I think at this point, is the probability or improbability of returning for trial. We have a history that includes charges at least. We do not have the disposition, but we did recover DD-214 from his time in the U.S. Army. It looks like in 2016, he was charged with a couple of matters, including larceny of private property, and more importantly, fraudulent ID documents. And then in 2017, he was charged with desertion or the absence without leave, going AWOL from the Army. Ultimately, he was discharged less than honorably, although it was not a dishonorable discharge. He was discharged from the Army in a less than honorable means or manner. We know that after the conversations, before the conversations with Detective Lesperance, but we believe after the underlying events of this case, he fled from Macomb County, went to Flint, where he was apprehended and brought back to Roseville. And we know that during that time, while he was in Flint, he accessed the internet to search for such things as fastest routes from Flint to Ohio, what to do on the run, is blood traceable, how to beat a polygraph, and deleting Google history. So Judge, I think by his own words and search history, by his prior conduct, and by what is frankly at stake in this particular matter, he's of significant risk of flight. With that, I would request a significant bond. I'm asking for a $500,000 cash surety bond, no 10%, and that a steel cuff GPS tether be attached should he make that bond.
All right.
Until this week, my dad did not know.
How's my sound? My sound going in and out? Y'all have to just bear with me while I adjust these volumes. How's my sound? Is my sound better?
Where he was from. It means the world is shared ancestry with my dad, so Nigeria. That's where it all started.
All right.
So once again, if he hasn't been charged with murder and he's been detained without a bond, let me see, y'all. Let me see.
Mike McCutcheon, retired police officer. It seems there's a lot going on here, right? These internet searches about fleeing, how to beat a polygraph, is blood traceable, desertion from the Army, all goes to character and his ability to leave. But they also caught him lying. How important is that when you're initially investigating and someone is provably lying to you?
It's very simple. If you an innocent person, if you ask them a question, they'll be able to answer it. If you're lying, especially in a situation where someone's life is on the line, someone that he is supposedly cares about and would be concerned for if she was missing, of course he would be honest because he would have a legitimate feeling that he wants to find where Ashley is. The only reason he wouldn't is because he doesn't want you to find where she is. And that would be most concerning is somebody who's supposed to be important in her life, her boyfriend, doesn't help you to try to find her. That'd be unbelievably concerning.
Maurice, what type of evidence has been found? Because it seemed like they executed the search warrant of Booker's home, and then they were convinced after that. Do we have any idea the type of things they may have found there?
Well, in speaking with police, they indicated to the family that they found substantial evidence inside that apartment as well as inside a dumpster behind the apartment. In fact, they hauled the dumpster away, which I think that evidence is what led them to the landfill that they're searching now for her remains. Reading between the lines, it appears there was substantial blood evidence, which is probably why he was researching is blood evidence traceable. He was concerned, he was worried, and this was planned out by him. He probably thought he was much smarter than everyone else, which obviously he isn't. But it's, obviously a lot of blood evidence was collected.
So, Maurice, I know you have to go tonight, so I wanted to ask you another question about the family. And like you're saying, there's a search ongoing. Is there any hope that she could be found alive somewhere, or based upon all the information they've gotten, the way police are acting and communicating, that that's no longer a possibility in the minds of the family?
Yeah, the family has come to, a conclusion that, Ashley was unfortunately murdered based upon the evidence that has come out thus far in our conversations with police. We know not only have they collected substantial evidence in the home, but her vehicle was recovered as well. There's been no word from Ashley, no sighting of Ashley since the day that she's gone missing, which is out of her character because she has 2 young children, 7 and 10 years old, that she loves to death, that she adores, and she hasn't reached out at all. But after being presented with the evidence that the police do have at this point in the case, we feel that she is in fact deceased, unfortunately. And now for the family, it's important to find her remains. And so that's why the search that's going on now, despite, the cold weather up here in Michigan, is very important because it will help the family, achieve closure, hopefully. And then we can get on to the next phase of this, which is securing justice. And hopefully DeAndre is ultimately charged with murder and one day ultimately convicted.
Mike McCutcheon, take us inside that home. What type of evidence would you expect that they found that they could come to this conclusion, even without finding Ashley?
So he hasn't even been charged with murder yet. And he's being held on a no bond. Now, we've seen those correctional officers, they've charged with 2nd-degree murder. We saw them committing murder, but they were all given low bonds and they all made bond and bonded out. All those monsters bonded out on a murder that we all saw. But this monster, we didn't see the murder, even though we believe that he took her life, but he hasn't been charged with taking her life, but he wasn't given a bond. Wow. Is it something in the water? Is it something in the air that is causing these monsters, these cowards, to take a woman's life? What is it? Like, what part of the game is that? She don't want you no more. All right, move on. You hurt, your feelings hurt. Shit, we all had our feelings hurt before, both men and women. I can never stand on, I can never condone a man taking a woman's life, period. Under any circumstances, unless the woman is trying to take your life, and it's a situation where as though, because some women are with it. Some women will take your life. I understand that one. Salute Current. But a breakup, she moved on. She don't want you no more. What was that about? What was that about? Somebody help me understand. Maybe I'm too old to understand. I could never understand that.
So I'm sure if looking at 2 things, his digital footprint, looking for the blood, but even without that, if they have come to the conclusion that she's deceased, the amount of DNA that you need to collect to be able to make a positive identification now is so small. So they're probably using something like luminol or Blue Star to find blood that's been cleaned up. Maybe a chemical called leucocrystal violet, which interacts with the blood to look for footwear, if he was wearing footwear, so that you can compare it to the footwear that he had. And some of the things that he may be disposing of aren't specifically Ashley's, they may be his. So if they're able to find footwear, for example, that is on her clothing or near those dumpsters, and they can match the shoes that he has, that is going to be a clue. And then any signs of a struggle or a cleanup. And again, that's something that if there's blood evidence, that the luminol or blue star is going to be able to indicate when they spray that, because they're going to be able to see that it was clean.
They got enough evidence. Salute Allison. Salute Allison. Salute Karen. I don't know if I saluted you already, but salute to Karen and Allison. They got the evidence. They got the blood from his bathroom apartment. That's definitely her blood.
All right, Mike McCutcheon's going to stay with us. Maurice, I know you have to go. Appreciate you making time for us tonight. Please, again, express our deepest condolences to the family. Let them know we're thinking about them. And they have such a great spokesperson. I'm so glad that you're able to be the voice of the family, Maurice. Thank you so much.
Such another sad case. Good morning, Big Mama, Candy Crunch. I see y'all down there. I see you, Big Mama. So I should see some hot dogs that go Big Mama with them tacos. Go ahead with all them tacos, Big Mama. You know, we don't do the tacos over here. We don't do the tacos over here. It's a sad case. It's just, you know, she don't want you. She got it going on. She got children. See, you just can't. Like, one thing about a woman, most women will take a chance with a guy that don't got his ish together. Salute, Miss Parker. Salute, Miss Parker. Y'all throw up them hot dogs and not the tacos. But most women will give a guy a chance. Some women, you got to have your ish together all the way across the board. They ain't playing it. However, you got some women that will give you a chance. But once they give you that chance, and once you mess up, especially if they got kids and they got it going on, they ain't got time for you no more. You know? And that's weak. That's weak of a man to take a woman's life because she don't want him no more. Salute, Tam. Salute, Tam. I got one more clip that I want to go to for y'all, and then we're going to get out of here. Ms. Parker will be going live later on today. I'm not sure of the time. Y'all can ask Ms. Parker. But she is going live later on today. Man, this shirt.
Ex-boyfriend of missing mother Ashley Elkins appeared in court for a probable cause comps this morning. Elkins was last seen leaving her home on January 2nd and has not been found. Our Alicia Bergio was in the courtroom. She joins us now with an update from the 39th District Court in Roseville.
It was an emotional day for the family of Ashley Elkins, the mom of two who vanished a few weeks ago. The family seeing 30-year-old DeAndre Booker stand before a judge through Zoom.
My God, I can let him out. I was terrified.
Heartbroken yet relieved. Monica Elkins desperate for justice in the disappearance of her daughter.
I want him to think about what he did to our family and what he did to those boys. I mean, was it worth it?
DeAndre Booker charged with lying to a police officer and is the only suspect arrested in connection to the disappearance of Ashley Elkins. Today, Booker's defense attorney asking for the probable cause conference to be adjourned after receiving more information surrounding the case from the prosecutor's office. He also requested the suspect's bond be reduced.
This offense that's charged is not, as I stated before, that serious of an offense. And I think that the only reason that there is this kind of bond is based upon what the prosecutors think they might charge him with in the future.
The prosecutor debating otherwise.
I find it insulting that Mr. Lang would indicate that this is a small charge. I believe the family of Miss Elkins, the missing woman, would think that somebody lying to the police about that woman's potential whereabouts is more than a serious charge.
The judge keeping the bond as is, saying the evidence against Booker is compelling.
At this point, I'm going to deny the request for a bond reduction because I do find that he is a flight risk.
Booker's probable cause conference is rescheduled 2 weeks from now. His preliminary exam set to take place on February 26th. The family hoping murder charges will be announced before the next hearing.
So why wasn't the same applied to those correctional officers that took the life of Robert Brooks? If we compare them, the 10 correctional officers over here, we saw their crime. We saw their crime. We know that Robert Brooks is deceased. We saw their crime. Now we come over to DeAndre. We don't have a body. He's not being charged with murder. Right? Notice in Ashley Elkins' case, right? Notice in Ashley Elkins' case, the family of her feelings and everything was taken into consideration. At that bail review hearing for them correctional officers, you didn't hear that states, you didn't hear the prosecutor mention nothing about how Robert Brooks' son and the rest of the family feels. You ain't hear them mention that. They kind of like pretty much, if you listen to the bail hearing of those correctional officers, they made the correctional officers seem like they were Boy Scout kids. You didn't hear nothing that would suggest why they shouldn't receive a bond. You heard only the things that would make them get a bond. But in DeAndre's case, they brought the actual evidence. We didn't hear nothing in the correctional officer's bail hearing as far as evidence. The prosecutor ain't mentioned nothing about this officer was seen on video. And if you look at the video carefully, that's this officer right here that's choking him. That's this officer right here that's kicking him. All that's on tape. All that's on video. You didn't hear none of that at the correctional officer's bail hearing. None of it. But when it comes to DeAndre, they brought up all of the evidence that was found. Right? Well, why they didn't do that in the correctional officer's bail hearing? Leslie says, exactly, Shank. I'll take a few comments and then we're going to get out of here. Wow. Wow. You can't make this up. Positive Vibe says it's always the black versus white privileges and crimes. But he's definitely guilty. He took this young mother's life away from her, and she didn't deserve it. She didn't deserve it. James says, it's the cold shield of blue, Shank. Cops take up for one another. Will this kind of behavior ever stop as far as these dudes taking these women lives? When will it stop? Will it ever stop? Sad, sad case, y'all. How could you take the life of a woman that you love? Some people say love hurts. Other people says love don't hurt. But I can tell you one thing about love. Love don't cause you to take the life of a person that you say you love. So is it really love? Is it really love? Do you really love your girlfriend? Do you really love your wife? What's up, Doug? What's up, Doug? Appreciate you, Miss Callie. Is that love? I love you. But you loved her that much that you took her life. That ain't love. That ain't love. That's infatuation. You infatuated with her. He was infatuated with her. Love don't hurt. Love don't kill. There's no way in the world that you can convince me that love would cause you to kill somebody. I appreciate everybody for pulling up. I will see everyone later on. I'll take a few comments and then we're going to get out of here. Leslie says, the justice system isn't for us. It's sad. We pay taxes just like white folks do. Well, if it's that type of love, they could keep that. And that's what I'm saying. If you got to kill me, and it could go both ways. It could go both ways because there are some cases now. Well, there have been cases, but the cases of women taking men's lives in the name of love, those are rising. So it's not just the men taking these female lives, it's women taking the male lives. If you got to take my body, if you got to take my physical form from me in the name of love, because we had a breakup, you know, I don't want you no more. Even if I do something to you, that shouldn't cause you to take my life. You know what I mean? And in this case, she moved on. She didn't want him no more. She had started seeing somebody else. She ain't want DeAndre no more. If a woman don't want you no more, there are a lot of ways that you can go about when your woman don't want you no more. First, the first step, find out what it is that she don't want you no more for. First, that's the first step. Now, if she don't want you no more because she's interested in another guy, did you push her to that other guy? Now, if you pushed her to the other guy, then it's on you. If you love her and if you want her back, it's on you to win her back, not by taking her life. Now, if it's another guy that she's interested in and it's just, look, I don't want you no more. It's nothing that you've done. It's just, I don't want you no more. And she is interested in this other guy. It's two ways that you can handle it. You could try to get her to be more interested in you, or you could just wash your hands and say, okay, the best man won. Obviously, he was the best man. I'm going on about my business. In most of those cases, that woman, she always backtrack. She always backtrack. When she get out of a relationship with one guy to get with another guy, when that guy that she got out of a relationship with, when he just walk away peacefully, 9 times out of 10, that woman always backtrack, because they always say the grass is not greener on the other side. So you could do one or the other. But to take her life, that's not part of the game. If she don't want you no more because you don't work, if she don't want you no more because you are a bum, if she don't want you no more because you say you a king, but you don't represent a king, then it's on you to fix yourself. Maurice says, Shank, thus that is not love. When someone takes your life from the people you said you love, right? It's not love. It's not love. You know, clean yourself up. You know, I'm just keeping it honest. You know, clean yourself up. Go to the barber shop. You know, make yourself look presentable. Take a bath. Brush your teeth. Take a shower. Clean yourself up. Stop looking like a bum. Stop acting like, you know, you lost. Do better by yourself, because as you do better by yourself, naturally, you're going to do better by your woman. But y'all got to stop, you know, killing these women, man, out of jealousy. She don't want you no more. She moved on. Y'all got to stop that. I appreciate everybody for pulling up. I'm going to try to do a political demonstration at 5 p.m. I got to run out and take care of some business. So make sure y'all check and see if I'm live at 5 p.m. Salute everybody. I appreciate everybody for pulling up. Salute. Make sure y'all hit the like button.